Hello, my loves. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're returning, welcome back. I am Hannah, and I am here to teach you how to manifest whatever you want and how to do it in the most easy, natural way. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about in this video specifically how I mastered manifestation, how I mastered manifesting not just the little things, but like the big things, the big shifts in my life. It's been a journey, it's been a process, and I'm going to share with you like the most potent, powerful times to do this, like how to really master it, like what's really required. So if that sounds good, stick around. And before we dive in, I just want to let you know I have email coaching open and private readings open, personal readings open, limited amount right now because I had a big influx. So I've had to like move it to Etsy just so I can like keep track of how many I have offered, if that makes sense, instead of just accepting Venmo, PayPal payments. So there's limited right now. If I'm able to increase it, I will, or just as they run out and space opens up, I'll just keep renewing them. Okay, so you can check for that if you've been looking for support. I also have self-paced programs. Those are lifetime access. You go at your own pace. There's, anyone can sign up for that. So all of the details for that will be linked in the description box below, along with all my other platforms. If you're not aware of it, I have a second YouTube channel where I make subliminals and affirmation tracks. Sometimes I post Abraham Hicks rampages on there just to kind of help you with your mental diet, which is a big part of what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so let's dive in. So I want to touch on the things that in retrospect have made me a master manifestor. The first thing is taking radical responsibility, like really being willing to accept what we talk about with law of assumption, right? What Neville Goddard talks about, understanding that you are at cause for everything in your life. You're not a victim. You're creating it. And oftentimes, that's subconscious. It's not intentional, but nonetheless, you're the one creating your life. So that's the first thing, taking radical responsibility, okay? And then like really, really, really staying consistent. So like deciding what you want and staying consistent with that no matter what. And this is like the hardest part for people. These two things are the hardest part because there's other things intertwined with it, which I'll get into. And this is why I have why I do the work I do, because it's not easy all the time. It is a journey, but I don't want to make it sound like it needs to be a long drawn out process. Because the truth is, it doesn't need to be. It's never a matter of work per se. It's never even a matter of time. It's simply a matter of alignment. So it really has to do with like how quickly you can get yourself on board. It really has to do with how willing you are and how consistent you are, how often you show up for yourself. So being really consistent, right? And the consistency is going to come in the form of mental diet, like really taking a look at what stories you're telling. Where are you feeling like a victim? Where are you subconsciously holding on to blockages, maybe worthiness things, past hurts and traumas, because all of those things are going to be, when you're holding on to that, that's what's creating your reality. So, you don't want to be creating your reality from a version of you who feels like they're powerless, like they are a victim, right? That's obviously not going to create a very favorable outcome for you. So the work is to really go within and take a look at what you're holding on to energetically, either consciously or subconsciously, that's not aligned with your desired outcome. And I know that can be really hard, especially, so much of this is subconscious, meaning it's in our blind spots. And if you're not in the habit of knowing how to connect with your intuition, if you're not in the habit of trusting yourself, if you're in the habit of just giving your power away, that can be a really hard thing to do. And sometimes we're like too close to the problem to like see it. It's like all we've ever known. And it's hard to envision, like to think beyond that, if that makes sense. Which is also one of my gifts. So when I work with you one-on-one, this is like what we do. I try to help, I do help you pinpoint exactly what's going on. How are you holding yourself back? What are these unfavorable patterns? So you have the power to shift it, right? But then once you uncover that, you need to be consistent with it. And a lot of this is going to tie in with emotional regulation, right? Emotional intelligence, really working with the emotional intelligence and regulating your nervous system. Those things are very intertwined. And this is the part of the journey that requires great inner strength because it is not easy to stay consistent and stay focused on your vision and really stay calm and certain and knowing when you are in the middle of sometimes chaotic circumstances, or you are having a very real experience of unwanted things showing up in your reality. Like, this is where you're either gonna let the circumstances break you or make you, right? And again, why I offer support in the programs I do, because I'm someone who really went through it in every single area of my life, and I get it. Yeah. So, I went through this in my money. I went through this in my health. I went through this in my relationships. Like, I went through it in all the main areas. So I totally get it. Okay. And I feel very strongly that there's a reason I went through it, because I'm here to help others go through it. So it's like, I had to learn, right? And that really, this portion is where you learn your strength, where if you decide to really stay focused and committed and stay aligned, this is where you become unshakable. This is where you learn to trust yourself so deeply. This is where you create that strong, stable, solid foundation within yourself, so that when you do receive everything you're intending, because you will, if you stay consistent, you're not going to lose it. It's not going to be like a one-hit wonder with your manifestations where you get it and then you're like afraid of losing it, right? And this is where it takes like being bold and courageous and having the guts to boldly decree and declare and know in the face of like oftentimes the complete opposite. Okay. This is where you have to really, really be strong. But when you do this, you become unshakable. Many spiritual people will refer to this as the dark night of the soul, having like a massive awakening. For me, when I was really going through this, it really kickstarted my Kundalini awakening. It really was just like, it wasn't the universe testing me. I don't believe in that at all. All it was me fighting against myself. It was me, all the old resistance coming up, and me over and over and over, relentlessly choosing who I was going to be. In the face of the polar opposite, in the face of things crumbling, in the face of my biggest fears, in the face of like no one believing in me, I was like, no, I know this is who I am. I know this is what I get to have. This is what I'm aligning to. This is it. I know it's done, and I'm not going to be swayed by what's going on around me. And eventually you get over that hump. And when you do, that's when you've mastered manifestation. And, I'll just say this in closing. Most of us find manifestation, obviously, because we want to get our things. You're like, I just want my shit. I just want stuff to work. I want the relationships to work. I want my body to work. I want the money to flow. You want things to work, right? That's why you find it. But it's like you get so much more when you get to that point where you've really mastered yourself internally, where you've mastered your mind and your emotions and your energy. You realize it wasn't ever about this stuff anyway. It was about who you get to become. It's about being peaceful. It's about having that emotional stability, really being certain of who you are. Like I said, being unshakable, that's the real gift. That's what you wanted. You wanted to feel safe. You wanted to feel secure. You wanted to feel supported. You wanted to feel free. You wanted to feel beautiful. You wanted to feel worthy and enough. You wanted to feel loved. You wanted all of that. And when you learn how to master feeling and embodying that state, that emotional state, a mental state within yourself before anything changes in your 3D reality, that is when it all comes in. And so it's not this thing of the people who win the lottery, but they had a poverty mindset and then they squander it and then they're more broke than they were before. That's not the vibe. You can frantically manifest and get little things in. You can manifest a text from an ex, you can manifest all of these little things, nonsense you see in the manifestation communities. But the way I teach manifestation is the real deal, because you become it. So not only do you become the version of you always wanted to be, the version of you who you always truly were, you feel how you want to feel, you experience life the way you want to experience life, and all the good stuff starts rolling in, and it's effortless because it has to come in because it's who you've become internally. Does that make sense? And so there's really no way around it. There's no shortcut to it. The inner work is the shortcut, and it's the permanent solution. The only way out is through. Yeah, you are the solution. You already have everything you need within you. It's just a matter of accessing it and harnessing it and really cultivating that power and that strength and that inner stability. And you, like I said, you have what it takes. It's just a matter of deciding. And sometimes along your journey, you need support, right? So again, if you need that, you want to look into it, you can check. It's all linked below. What else would I like to say about this? I would like to end on reminding you that circumstances don't matter, okay? If you are manifesting love, if you know who you want to be with, like, because this is a common one I see in this manifestation law of assumption community, is like manifesting a specific person. You can do that. You're never going to hear from me that you can't do something. But people get hung up. They're like, oh, I see they're with someone else. Doesn't matter. Maybe your 3D reality is showing you the complete opposite of what you want in everything. Maybe it's in your health, in your body, in your money, in your business, whatever. I don't care what your 3D reality is showing you. It doesn't matter. Do you want to know why? Because you created it. You're the operant power. You have the power to turn it around. And if you can just detach and stop being so addicted to checking and keeping score and like really micromanaging things on the outside, if you could just detach from the physical reality for a while and just go within and do what you need to do, which is mastering yourself internally, that would all shift. And it can shift in a blink of an eye, okay? It can shift really quickly. The quicker you can just commit to doing the inner work and stop paying attention to the outside and stop being emotionally impacted by it and stop making it mean stories and like attaching meanings to it, the quicker you can just focus on you, the quicker it will shift, okay? I promise you that, because I have experienced it myself, like I said, in every single area. So I'm sending you love. I intend that this was helpful. And if you would like me to help support you further, you are more than welcome to book with me. Everything's linked below. If you're not subscribed, I would love to have you join us here. I post videos every single week. Again, down below, you can check out all of my other platforms as well, okay? I'm sending you love. I'll see you next time. Bye.